Hey guys, Incredibility here, back again with another video about college. The topic of today's story is none other than lab partners. You see, at Cal Poly Pomona, classes are only a quarter long, which is basically 10 weeks. So, if there's a topic you need to learn about, which takes more than 10 weeks to teach, it would be split up into 2 or 3 quarters. For example, to satisfy my English requirements for the first year, I would have to take English 101, 102, and 103 for all 3 quarters. So in order to take English 201, all 3 of these classes should have been completed by the second year. Okay, so I'm gonna go on a bit of a tangent here. I had to take a biology and a chemistry series of 3 classes each. And here's where it gets even more complicated. Each class was made up of both a lecture and a lab. Now I ended up jumping over the first biology class and going only to the second, even though I still had to take the first one later. And while this is not really allowed, I found a secret way to do it. Apparently, if you have a semi-good excuse and you talk to the department chair or the dean, you can get special cheat codes to get into that class. Anyway, the problem is that, having not taken another lab before, I didn't know that the person who would be sitting next to you would become your lab partner. And man, did I regret not knowing that. So I walk in the classroom and I look for a random spot to sit, somewhere far away, even though there really wasn't any seats far away. I just wanted to be isolated in case I mess up or break something, no one would see me. And I end up sitting next to my future lab partner. Remember, I didn't know that yet. For the purpose of this story, we will call him Stevie. Now, Stevie was an interesting individual, so let's get down to the story. During the first class period, after the class had begun, keep in mind that this is a 3-hour-long class. We went over class expectations, rules, safety, and all that other stuff that no one really cares about. Or maybe they do, but everyone looked insanely depressed during that hour-long video from ancient times, mainly the 1900s. During this time, my lab partner was preoccupied with anything else but watching that video. He would ask me random questions about when I'm free, what locker do I want, and no, we don't get to choose our lockers. So I don't know what this guy was talking about. I just kinda ignored him, or I tried to. Eventually, after that horrendous hour-long safety video, our professor says, "Okay guys, so the people next to you are your lab partner." And then it hit me. This annoying guy who has been blabbering about who knows what this entire class is gonna be 50% of my grade. But hey, I'm a microbiology, so chemistry should be easy peasy. Oh man, I had no idea what was coming. So we get our assigned lockers, which we have to share with our partners, and the first thing we had to do was look through them and make sure that nothing was missing. And here's where things get spooky. I grab the paper, get our locker combo, and open the lock. Then I look up to see where my partner was, but he was nowhere to be seen. I said, "Stevie?" And I hear an answer, "Yeah," from the corner of the room. I was like, okay, let's do this. I start looking through the items and taking an inventory of everything that we had. There's quite a few items and I had no idea what every one of them was called. I look up again and I am not joking. I saw Stevie in the corner of the room literally serenading himself. I was mind blown. I was like, is this guy insane? Anyway, a few minutes later he joins me and just stares at me as I finish doing the inventory. I was thinking to myself, if something's missing, you're paying for it, buddy, because you weren't even here. Later that period, he asked me for my number. I was so reluctant to give it to him, but I couldn't really say no. He asked me where I'd like to meet so that we can study together, and I really didn't know any good place to meet with somebody, because, well, I'm a freshman and I don't really know that many places on campus. So I just said the library, because, like, that's the most familiar place on campus that I know. And then he says, "Wait, you're a freshman?" To which I answer, yeah. So he says, "Oh great, of course I get the freshman." I was thinking to myself, isn't this a freshman class? Of course I'd be a freshman. He continues by saying, "Oh, I'm a junior, I already took this class." I pause and stare at him, then ask, "Then why are you taking it again?" He answers, "Oh, 'cause I failed it." I was completely speechless. Sure, complain that I'm a freshman, but you failed this course. Isn't that much worse than being a freshman? So that class ends, and later on he messages me so I can send him my pre-lab. But I honestly didn't finish it because I like to procrastinate a lot. The next lab day comes, which goes decently, because we both have to work on our own things, so there wasn't really much to complain about, except the quiz. Oh man, this guy wasn't even trying to hide the fact that he was trying to cheat off of me. He even says at the end, "I couldn't really see what you put for number 3. I was like, yeah, I made sure you couldn't, stupid. I didn't really say that. I just told him not to try to cheat off of me because I'm not that good. I'm a freshman, remember? And you know, up until this day, it seemed like I was the only one who disliked him. But that all changed after this quiz. Approximately 1 minute into the quiz, he asked the professor to come over and then blatantly asked them, I don't know number 1. How do you do it? Professor didn't really answer, but gave him some hints. 2 minutes later, he raises his hand again. Professor comes again, and again doesn't really help him. 3 minutes later, he raises his hand again. And he continued doing this throughout the entire quiz, until the professor said, "You know, I've never had anyone ask me more than 1 question on the first quiz, and you're on your 5th. So just finish the quiz, I really don't want to answer any more of your questions." And each time he was raising his hand, I was trying so hard not to laugh. Next week comes and we get our first lab results. I make sure to brag that I got 100% because I love science. I really didn't brag, he just took my paper and looked at my results, but I made sure to leave it face down on my desk, rather than in my backpack. So I guess I kinda asked for it? I mean, he didn't really ask for my permission though. There is honestly so many stories with this lab partner that I would need 5 videos to talk about them. One time we were doing a lab and we had to take turns using the Bunsen burners, so he went first. Because I'm the freshman, you know? And every step of the way, he'd ask me what to do, and at one point I said, "Bro, the steps are literally right in there," pointing at the lab notebook. And he then said that since I got a higher grade on the first lab, it was easy for him to just ask me. But I'm the freshman, you know? He followed the steps I gave him, and then he raises his hand. I almost exploded in laughter because he asks an average of 15 questions a day. No joke. The professor borderline hates him. So the professor comes, and Stevie begins to explain every step he had taken up until that point. To which the professor responds, "Oh, you messed up. You need to start over." And I jump in and I ask, "Did you really add barium sulfide? Because I told you not to." He says, "Yeah, I think so." So he goes, throws everything away, and then comes back so he can start all over again. And then he says, "Oh wait, I didn't put that in." I actually started laughing at this point. The professor then comes to me, gives me a new Bunsen burner, and says, "Just start working on your own because he's way behind now." To which Stevie responds, "Professor, I actually didn't put barium sulfide in my solution." And he answers, Well, you told me you did." "I know, I just wanted to let you know that I'm not stupid." Good job. He didn't actually say that, but he just walked back to his desk. And that, my friends, is Stevie, the bestest lab partner ever. More stories to come out about him and other things, so please like, comment, and subscribe for more. See ya!